Today we're making snapper papillettes, or cooked in a bag. Let's go. So what we're gonna do first is, again, turn our heat on. This is a beautiful dish. You can actually pre-do this a little bit and serve it later on when you're dinner guests or when you're ready to cook. So we get a hot pan. So here we have some beautiful snapper fillet. Just a fillet, no bones. That's probably about 250 grams. Depends how much you want to eat. 180 to 250 is about right. So we're just going to season that a little bit. Just a little bit of seasoning on top of our fish, just for a couple of minutes. Then we've got some beautiful leek. So what we do is we'll put some butter in the bottom of a pan with some olive oil. And we're going to put in there our leek. Going to stir that through. So we're going to soften our leeks. And if you need more oil, that's okay, or some more butter, just add some more in there. You just want to soften that right up. So what we're also going to do now is we're going to turn our stove on for our fish. Want that nice and hot. So here we have our leek. It's just wilting a little bit. The colour's coming out and some smells coming out. And it's starting to brighten a lot more. It's really nice. So we're going to add some salt to our leek. We're also going to make sure that you have your oven turned on about 180 degrees and sort of pre-cook that for about 20 minutes before you want to use it, just to make sure it's hot enough and it takes a bit quicker to cook with. So our leek's reducing there nicely. So what we're going to do now is, actually our leek is wilting a bit more now. So now we're going to add some white wine. I'm probably only guessing about 50 ml to 80 ml, not a lot. Just a little bit of white wine. We want to So we want to just reduce that down to probably 3/4. So get rid of most of that liquid. So you're left with the flavour of the wine, not the alcohol flavour through in that. So that, while that's reducing a little bit, we test our pan over here, which is nice and hot. It's getting there. So you need a hot pan, because the idea is to get some nice colour on the outside of the fish. So it's not to cook it completely in here, it's just to get some nice colour. Just about there. Most of that wine is cooked away. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab a bowl. We're just going to pour the leek into a separate bowl. And we'll use that again in about 3 or 4 minutes. Okay, our pan's getting nice and warm. So it gets some little olive oil sitting on the bottom. Not too much. But again, you want it to smoke a little bit. Then you want to place our fish on the pan. So again, you want to hear the sizzle. Because that way it'll sear the fish really nicely and actually come across really well. So while that's happening, what I've also done is, I've got some potatoes, whole potatoes. I just boiled them till they were 95% cooked. I've cooled them down and I've actually cut them into small rings. Okay, that's going to be our base for our fish and our leek. So we're going to grab some alfoil. So make sure you get a decent sized piece of alfoil. And what we're going to do, make some room there, is we're going to place our potato on the bottom of our alfoil. Just 3 or 4 pieces each side, just like that. Then from here, we're going to get our leek. We're going to put some leek across the bottom. just some leek. I'll put a little bit of seasoning on the leek and potato. So what we're going to do now, we're just going to give our fish just a turn. So as you can see, that's now got some nice colour. That's actually looking really nice. So you don't want to, so we're going to cook it in the bag inside the oven, so it's going to steam, it's going to finish cooking, but you want some nice colour on the outside of the fish for when you go to serve it. It actually looks like it's been pan fried. So the other side, you don't want too much, just want enough to know that it's been cooked. Then from there, take it off the heat. We're going to place that on top of our leek and our potato. So from there, just a few cherry tomatoes on the side. We're going to get some garlic butter. So the garlic butter, change that around. We're going to put some lemon on top of our fish. And on top of that, we're going to put some garlic butter. So while this all goes in the oven, all the flavours are going to mix, the wine, the butter, the garlic and the fish. It's going to come up beautifully. So what we do now is we just roll this to the top, pull the sides in, and you're going to make a full package. So you make sure it's all sealed well. So now, place that on a tray. We're going to put that in our oven. Right, so it's been about 20 minutes, so we're going to check our fish now and see how it's coming up. Depends on the thickness of the fish, it depends on how long it takes. Could be 20 minutes, could be 25, could be 30. So we're just going to check. So we'll bring it out of the oven. Got to be really careful here because it does get very hot when it's opened. So we open it up, put it in a plate. That way it stabilizes. So just careful of the steam coming up. Actually, you can smell that coming through, the garlic and the white wine. It's actually beautiful on the fish. So what we want to create with this, and I can tell straight away if that's cooked, because I can tell as I touch that, that's going to start falling apart as I touch it. So we're just going to open that up like a plate. So you don't take this out. You actually serve this as is. So for a dinner party, you can cook all these, put them in the oven. You can clean up. You can have a glass of wine if you want to. Then you can bring them out, and it's ready to go. So in the bottom, we've got all the butter. Some beautiful butter. You've got the garlic. You've got white wine. So you can see it's swimming in there. So what I normally do now is I'll just straighten up these lemon a little bit. I'll put a bit of parsley across the top. So here we have our snapper cooked in a bag. Enjoy.